break open your house one time, they rape your mother, they rape your father, they rape your brother, they rape your sister, they rape your auntie, they rape your auntie, they rob you of all your jewels, they take your car if you have a license firearm, they take your firearm, and they go on with that. And those that are supposed to vote for this bill, for the next year, you all are pleased and it's okay with that. What are they smoking? You cannot come and tell Saieed, well, hear this now. Saieed, mass mandatory, here we go. It come to an end. And then you come and tell me, here we go on Saieed. If you go to the supermarket, the grocery, or the malls, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you go to a pharmacy, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you're traveling, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the transportation hub, you have to wear your mask. If you're going to church side, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the school side, you're wearing your mask. If you go to a barber salon, you go to the theater, you're wearing your mask. Which dum-dum in Trinidad and Tobago will go in a theater and buy a popcorn and a juice and sit down and wear a mask? Thanks! If every councillor go through their constituency, do video clips like this and send it for us, I'm gonna be so happy just to play it on our program on a Wednesday night. You know why I would be happy? I will be filled with joy in my heart. You know why? Because the councillor is getting off their butts and they are actually going and doing some live video shoots. Real Talk took the initiative to find out suppliers of wheat in the world that National Flour Mill could go to. So now Romano is saying the company is not going to raise any price in the near future. Why? Why? Is it because the S-boss and they realize now that, hey, it is in the public domain that we could go right Mexico and buy flour and wheat? We could go right China and buy wheat? I am about change. And thus far, Real Talk is very effective in Trinidad and Tobago, coming towards making changes for the citizens. Public Utility Minister Marvin Gonzalez have urged the population to appreciate and be grateful for the availability of the utilities. This, as Gonzalez recalled, time in his life when he had to fetch water using a bucket from a nearby river. Gonzalez, I want you to understand something. I want you, Mr. Gonzalez, to understand something. You are being paid thousands of dollars by public utility, by the finance ministry, to govern WASA. Come on. To govern WASA, I want you to understand that you ain't going in no office for no free code. You are being paid. Do not tell me that I, Saieed, have to be grateful for the water I get it. Let me tell you something, Gonzalez. Every 4 months, I have to pay $400 and I get water once a bloody month. So don't come on a media briefing and say, Saieed, you have to be contented. You have to be happy. Marvin, the next best thing for you to do is to resign and get the hell out of here.
I am your host. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. Remember, Trinidad and Tobago, we are the #1 current affairs program in Trinidad and Tobago. We are on Synergy Network live, all the English-speaking countries. Synergy is showing. So we are around the world, viewers. Also, viewers, when we go live on 14 Carolina Savannah Road in Shogunas, we also go live on Facebook. Real Talk with Saieed Ali, like and share. Also on YouTube, it's TT Real Talk. Subscribe, you would know when we go live. Also, viewers, there's a rerun the next day from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Remember, if you miss it, you could catch it. And now, the big thing, the big investment. Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on our fixed deposit, viewers, with your interest up front. Now, we are the only financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago that is giving you your interest up front on a fixed deposit. Remember that, viewers, Real Talk Financing is the only financial institution that is giving you an interest up front. Also, viewers, remember Real Talk Credit Union, open a savings account, buy shares, plant a seed today for a better future. Remember that. How can you do that? Only by opening a savings account. It's the only way you could do that. Plant today and reap the benefit in the coming months and weeks, also years. Remember that, viewers. So as we start our program tonight, Works and Transport Minister Rohan Sinanan and Nigerian Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development Festus Keyamo signed Trinidad and Tobago first bilateral air services agreement with an African nation. Now, viewers, according to Minister Sinanan, the conversation between Trinidad and Tobago and Nigerian began in 2003 and will allow airlines to transport both passengers and cargo between the two nations. The agreement was signed earlier today at Piako International Airport. So viewers, we're doing business with Nigeria now. Let's just hope, Trembegonians. First we had a guy from India. Now we had Petrotron Refinery, a guy from Nigeria. At present, we have another guy from Nigeria. So let's see in the coming weeks that whatever this individual has in the closet or nothing in the closet, we'll see in the coming weeks. Let's hope he is clean and he's more than able to do business with Trinidad and Trinidad with him or his company. Remember that, viewers. Election observers, new thing, new news. Election observers will arrive in Trinidad and Tobago a week ahead of the general election on April 28th. A release by the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs said, missions from CARICOM and Commonwealth were confirmed, and they would contact or conduct the exercise from April 21st to the 30th. On March 19, Prime Minister Stuart Young wrote to the then Commonwealth Secretary General, Patricia S. Scotland, KC, requesting an electoral observer mission from the Commonwealth. On March 25th, the Commonwealth Secretary General responded and said arrangement would be made to deploy a Commonwealth electoral mission and contact would be made with the relevant official to coordinate the planning and development of the mission. So Trinidad and Tobago, we are going to have observers in the country for our general election. Moving along. As a state of emergency officially came to an end on April 13th, scores of offenders who were detained during the SOE operation were released. However, National Security Minister Marvin Gonzalez explained that 15 of those remain in custody and are facing criminal charges. Marvin.
As of yesterday, I think it's about 15 of those persons who were detained. They're now facing criminal charges, so they've been taken into custody by the police, and charges have been laid against them. The rest of them have been released, and during that period of detention, we would have seen a significant reduction in murders that would have been as a result of gang activities.
The SOE, which ended at midnight, meant that the emergency power was given to the Ministry of National Security and the police to detain people suspected of believing to be involved in criminal or gang activities are no longer applicable. The state of emergency that began on December 30th of last year and was extended by 3 months on January 13th for the new year saw a decrease in criminal activities. Listen to this.
Of course, one would have hoped it could have been 50% or more. But these things, you have to take it as they come, and you assess it on a daily basis. So a 30% reduction in murders and other serious crimes is welcome news, and we look to build on these successes as we go along. The other thing is that the law enforcement agencies, well, in addition to that, they have confiscated over 200 firearms and a large assortment of ammunition, large amount of drugs, cocaine and marijuana. They have ramped up a lot of police operations. I think it's over 3,000 or 4,000 police operations during that period of time. because it was very easy and easier to get search warrants.
So Trinidad and Tobago, 50 persons were held under prevention detention order. Preventative detention order. Remember that. During the SOE. Yesterday, 6 of them were released from the prison, while 7 were released from the maximum security prison. So viewers, they say 15 persons are going to be charged with criminal offense. We would like to know what type of criminal offense would be laid against these 15 detainees, if it's going to be gang related, if it's going to be firearm, if it's going to be narcotics. You know, we the public would like to know that in the coming days as soon as possible. The SOE is finished, individuals have been held. No, that's the case. So what about the rest of individuals now who were not charged? What is going to happen with them? Is there some attorney that they're going to go by to sue the state? Remember, they were held and no charges. So this is the thing now, Trinidad and Tobago, we have to look forward for in the coming weeks. I heard a top attorney in Trinidad said they're going to be suing when the SOE ends. But nevertheless, let's wait. Let's see what is going to take place with this SOE thing. Now, moving along, Prime Minister Stuart Young continues to maintain that all the eggs was not in the dragon basket. The Energy Minister said the People's National Movement government had negotiated multiple energy deals, some already generating revenue, others still to come. This after the UNC claimed that not a single gas supply contract was negotiated between 2010 and 2015. Meanwhile, National Transformation Alliance NTA leader Gary Griffith said, "It is disappointing but not surprising that some of the people have chosen to celebrate the end of the Dragon gas deal." Now, Gary is an educated guy, a former commissioner of police for Trinidad and Tobago, a former minister. But I wonder if Gary also understands that when you do business with a sanctioned countries, it could affect us. You see everybody talking about the rejoicing. He said everybody's rejoicing that the Dragon gas deal is dead. But did he think that with Donald Trump in power, sending out sanctions to other countries, and even in the countries that deal business with sanctions countries, they're going to get sanctioned also? Let me tell you something. I am surprised. I am surprised that we, Trinidad and Tobago, hasn't gotten sanctioned as yet for doing business with a sanctioned country under the United States. Thank God it's just the Dragon deal. So what about if we were sanctioned now? What would have happened? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself that. Yes, the Dragon deal come to an end, license revoked, but think about Trinidad and Tobago being sanctioned under the United States for doing business with a sanctioned country. You think any country would have done business with us? Think about the hardship we would have faced. Think about the backlash. Think about countries not willing to do business with us. Think about that. That was a bigger picture. Think about when our exporters go to countries. Think about our importers. What you think they would have been doing? You see, I tell you something. There's always something bigger out there. Always. So we had to say, thank God our country wasn't sanctioned. And to be honest, nobody's really celebrating the gas deal license revoked. Nobody is celebrating that. It's sad. It's sad. But the way Donald Trump and his administration were moving forward with tariffs, that would have been a no-no right there. Right there, that would have been a no-no. Now, Gary said he acknowledged the termination of the deal and added that the termination by no means signaled the end of our collective pursuit for a brighter Trinidad and Tobago, more prosperous future. He said, while the end of the Dragon deal may feel like a setback, it is also a call to reinvent and re-energize our approach to national transformation. Nothing, as I always say, there's something I was expecting. I am not rejoicing, but something I was expecting. The way Donald Trump administration was moving forward, yes. I was expecting us to get sanctioned, to be honest with you. Yeah. I was expecting Trinidad and Tobago to be sanctioned under the Trump administration just for doing business with that sanctioned country. Let me tell you something. There's really say sometimes there's more in the mortar beside the pestle, you know. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, we are praying people. God spared our lives. God spared our sanction. And just, the deal just gone sour. That is all. That is all. So we are going for a short commercial break. But when we come back, young government to free up the gun process. We're going to hear more on this when we return.
We'll be right back.
Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over
with upfront interest.
Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtor Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtor Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
You a curveball and you need a clear path forward. Trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Welcome back.
Come on, Trinidad and Tobago. So, before we go further, viewers, I just want to mention something to the persons of interest. Now, Natalie Pascal contacted our office and she came in and she's willing to transfer the vehicle. That's number one. Number two is she called, Mary Shaw called, and Mary Shaw says, okay, no problem, we're going to transfer it. But the only thing with Mary Shaw that I don't understand is that she always coming and can't reach. That's the problem. So let's just hope she actually come through, because if she fail, police will be knocking on the door. Mohammed also called, and everybody was willing to transfer. Everybody was willing to transfer. Also, viewers, this guy, Rondell, as soon as 10,000 bounty was placed on his head, he was quick to come in. Quick to come in. So Trinidad and Tobago, thus far, well, Rondell is off the hook. So we you know what? We're going to retract back the 10,000. You understand? He came in and settled whatever he had to settle. So what I'm going to say now is for the three females, by Thursday, I'm giving you till Thursday, if those vehicles are not transferred onto my company Friday morning very early, each one of them is going to get picked up. Each one of them Friday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're going to remain in the prison. Not the prison, in the station. And then Monday, you're going to face the judge. And just for, refusing to come all the time, officers are going to be like, so I have something to hide. You know what? Trace and sentence for life. You get a little time right in the prison, almost a month. 28 days, normally 28 days trace and sentence, to see if you have any criminal records. You see, I'll tell you something, viewers. I just do things the correct way, I will give you your time. I will give you your time. You want to run? No problem. You want to hide? No problem. But there has come a time when Saieed has just decided to say, you know what? Your time up. No hiding again. You see, I will tell you something. I just lend money. My company is lend loan, right, to hundreds of people. As long as you have collateral, it is not a problem. In 24, 36 hours, you get cash in your hand, cash in your bank account. You want loan? We giving you. You meet our criteria, and you get it. It's simple as that. We don't do no credit check, I don't care you owing 10,000 people. That's your business, and as long as you have collateral to come to my company, that is what we're holding. That's what we're holding. And when you don't pay, well, then we're going to deal with it in a different way if you decide to run and hide. But nevertheless, all of them came and they wanted to settle. No problem with that. So viewers, as we go forward, Prime Minister Stuart Young has promised to review the legal firearm system which ordinary citizens can apply for guns. Young said the government recognized that law-abiding citizens wanted some review of the system, and the government was committed to that, but stressed that no government could give out guns willingly. He said that his government recognized that this is an area that law-abiding citizens have concerns about. Stuart Young.
I heard a conversation is taking place from those on the other side about giving out guns. I want to talk to you all a little bit about this giving out guns. First of all, no government can't give out guns. All right? So don't let anybody thief your head about giving out guns. But we recognize that the legal firearm system needs to be addressed. We recognize that that is an area that law-abiding citizens have concern about. I give the undertaking here tonight in a responsible manner that the next PNM government will look at that and do it in a responsible manner. Not giving out guns to everybody, but looking at how the system can be properly addressed.
Now, sure, we understand that the government cannot give out guns. But the government can look into legislation, the government can look into amendment to make it easier. To make it easier. The Commissioner of Police could recommend certain laws and legislations change. We understand only the Commissioner of Police from Trinidad and Tobago can sign off on a gun application, an FUL application. But you know what would be interesting, Stuart Young? You see in other countries, as long as you're over 18 and you have a clean character, you could sign up for a firearm to defend yourself. And in Trinidad and Tobago, crime is rampant. Every individual would be more comfortable if they have a firearm in their possession to defend their families. That is the whole key. The whole idea to revamping the amendment and legislation so individuals, homeowners, citizens of Trinidad and Tobago could get a firearm. Let me tell you something. Nobody want a firearm just to walk around the place just so you know. No, they want it for a reason and a purpose. In 2024, look at the amount of homes were broken into. The amount of robberies, the amount of rape, the amount of assault went down on homeowners and their family. It was terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Now some of these, if they had firearms to defend their home, it's obvious they would have. And I will tell you this, you see, once a bandit know 5 homes in a community or 10 homes in a community, they have individuals with guns, they wouldn't go there. They know from the time they enter that house, somebody could get killed. Is it a member of the family could get killed or the bandit getting killed? 1 out of 32. And in the US, they gave you the option. It's either you kill them or them kill you. You get to defend your home. Even though you may fall, you may get shot in the heat of the moment, but you defend your home. You died for something, not died for nothing. And that is the difference. That is the difference, Stuart Young. We know you can't give out no gun. We know the government can't give out no gun. We understand the Commissioner of Police are the only individual can sign off on the gun application. So why not revamp the whole legislation and amendment for gun application? Call a good night.
Good night, Mr. Saieed. Great program as usual. And I know Stuart Young will not fool you, neither the citizens of this country. He thought he fooled us and he can continue fooling us. We will have none of it. Stuart Young is just repeating what the UNC is proposing to bring to the table for the citizens of this country to better their life. The opposition UNC said there will be no tax on retirement benefits.
Correct.
Public servants. You know, Stuart Young suddenly came up with that, so Stuart Young now is going to do that. No taxes on retirement, public servant retirement. Stuart Young, we fed up you promised us nothing. And Mr. Saieed, some of your ardent viewers and listeners to your program, they are listening tonight and they want me to tell you, we have to light a candle. 2 persons they want to see be emancipated from the corridors of politics is Stuart Young and that man who ridiculed us, who disrespected protected us and giggle against us and say he raised fuel price once, he raised it twice, he raised it 3 times, and he's going to raise it again and giggle against us. They want to see that man get not one vote in his constituency. So citizens of Imbut constituency, the day that you all prayed for is here. We, the 28th of this month, we must emancipate that man who laugh at us, that man who treat us like a dog, disrespect us, treat us as we are third-class citizens in this country of ours. He operated like he owned this country. He owned the wealth of this country. Property tax, we must never forget property tax. So we threaten us to take the crib, the stove, everything. Citizens, wake up and let us make this country a different place to go forward into the future. The 28th emancipate Stewart-Young and that Klong Imbut. God will bless you all, richly bless you. And Mr. Said, they say to let you know, you're a blessed fella and keep up the great work you are doing. They don't miss your program on evenings and they are listening tonight. So God bless you and your staff, Mr. Said. Keep up the great work.
Thank you, my friend. So viewers, back to Young. Young said his government would reform the way a commissioner of police is appointed. Stuart Young.
The first thing I said is we are going to reform the way we appoint a commissioner of police. The last time we did it, the first people to rush to court was the UNC. Well, I ain't afraid court. And now we have Larry who ain't afraid court either. And we have young, bright attorneys in the People's National Movement who ain't afraid court either. We are going to simplify the process. It is time in our writing of the next chapter, we break hold of those shackles and we find a way to implement a new appointment of a commissioner of police that is a simpler process, that finds the best fit, not necessarily rising through the ranks, but if you are the best person for the job, you get the job. We need the thinking, we need the strategy.
So I want to ask Stuart Young on national television on a live program and all the attorneys he mentioning, when our former prime minister went to the president to scrap the merit list, what the hell was all the attorneys? I want to ask all the attorneys that Stuart Young wants to mention, where were all of them back then? It's sad they can't say nothing now. It's stinking sad they can't say nothing now. Look at the state of the country. I am definitely sure those same attorneys, when they leave home and driving down the road, probably wondering, I hope nobody will shoot up my car today, no? I hope I reach to work later. I hope some gang member will kidnap me, no? I hope somebody, when I reach to work, somebody will mark me to shoot me. I'm sure you're probably thinking that. So all those attorneys he mentioning, when the Prime Minister jumped up and said, I was the big boy that went in, where was all them attorneys, Stuart Young? I'm sure none of them can answer now where there was. Call a good night.
Yes, sir, good night.
Go right ahead, you're live.
Saeed, what go on with the Wild Wild West, boy?
What the?
Keith Rowley and Stuart Young and all these people come and they say that, oh, Gary gave out too much of firearm and they're not going to issue nothing again because they don't want the country to get like the Wild Wild West. What going on now? Because election in the air, he's talking, trying to talk everything that people need, people want to hear. But that is only empty promises he's talking there. Where the 250 million come from to pave all the roads right now? Pull that money out of our magic hat. Where the money come from? We're trying to figure this thing out because they only have proven things, putting we in debt and paving the marginal constituencies and the constituencies that's very dilapidated. They leave anything just so by. So what they're really doing is I'm trying to understand what is going on here now. Let me tell you something. People should have been boycotting the Express from since Sunday. For that headline where they come out on Saturday, where the UNC using black to divide. How the UNC doing that? I watching all the UNC, all the meetings they have on the platform. Nobody talking that more race.
No race card.
No race talking about how it is the UNC using black to divide population. I'm trying to figure this thing out. And let me tell you something. See, the Express and the Guardian people should have been boycotting these two newspapers since Sunday morning. That is the problem in this country. The publishers are rubbish, and people that buy into these things. And the former Prime Minister come on a platform. You see how the man get on?
Yes.
The man get on worse than a washing boy. And people enjoying this kind of talk. I don't understand what is going on here. Let me tell you something here, people. All they need to understand that we need to get rid of these people from Parliament. Don't forget when they was changing across the money from paper to polymer, how they was laughing at the farmers inside Parliament.
Correct.
You remember that slide?
Yeah.
When they was laughing at the man selling bodi and
Correct.
and pumpkin. You remember all of that?
Yeah, I highlighted that.
People need to understand what is going on here, and everything going on gets worse under this government. I keep saying that if Stuart Young come back here as the Prime Minister, we're going to get sanctioned next year, and I keep telling people that we're heading down that road. Anyhow, Saeed, you enjoy your night.
Thank you, my friend. So viewers, the PM stated that there is currently no law that allows undercover and covert officers to do their work without fear of prosecution. He said that the law is coming too for that, so that undercover and covert officers can do their jobs to successfully fight crime. The PM said Trinidad needs an elite squad. Listen to Stuart Young.
Successfully fight crime, you literally need a special squad. And not a special squad spread all over, you know. To fight crime, you need an elite squad. A squad of people with the best training, what I call the elite squad. A squad of people who on a consistent basis are subject to polygraph and for testing as to integrity. You need a squad of people that they know when they join that squad, they are the best of the best. And that anytime they get intelligence, so they're told a crime going to happen here, a drug deal going to happen there, a gang going to operate there, not one of them in that squad, that elite unit, is going to pick up their phone and call or warn anybody. They're going and get the criminals.
So Trinidad and Tobago are coming back to answer Stuart Young. Are coming back. All those people who train in
We'll be right back.
Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over
with upfront interest.
Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtor Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saeed, Managing Director of Realtor Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
throws you a curveball. And you need a clear path forward. Trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on a roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Welcome back.
So Trinidad and Tobago, Stuart said we need an elite squad. Stuart now realized we need a squad. So all the time, Earl Haywood was there. What were they doing? What were they doing? Come now, man, say something, say something. 2386716, say something. All the time, when they had Earl there as the Commissioner of Police and crime was rampant in Trinidad and Tobago, that was the time to create the elite squad. But Earl said what? Her performance was what? Stuart, you forgot. You forgot. How many times you acted as Prime Minister when Earl was there? You didn't realize how rampant the crime was in Trinidad? Oh, I forget, Stuart Young. You had bodyguard, you had drivers, so you had to worry. But the normal man on the streets like Saieed now, whose son was almost kidnapped, we had to worry about who coming for we. Because we are businessmen. I am a businessman. I had to worry about who coming. But not you, Stuarty. Not you. What was the job of Earl Haywood? Christopher, what was her job? What was the job of the Minister of National Security? Huh? What the Rasta man was doing? Tell me, Stuarty. Come now, man, say something. What was Heinz's job? You know what Heinz said to the public? It is not my job to make all you feel safe. Heinz said that. But now, Stuarty, you coming to tell Trinidad and Tobago that we need a what? How they call it? An elite squad, NTDPS? You're talking, hey boy, watch me now, boy. Watch now, Stuarty. Only a play could bump all your mouth on a platform, you know. That's what I tell Trinidad and Tobago. Those in authority, whether UNC, whether it's PNM, whether what political party, you see their lips and the tongue, they will say what the human ears want to hear. Me, when I come here, I come to educate the public. I come to let the public know when John Doe in power to fix our street, make sure the street fixed. Because John Doe is a human like myself with lips and tongue to bump. Trinidad and Tobago, haven't you all noticed that when I start asking for something to better citizens, all I realize all of us get it? Laws, legislations, amendment. They realize when I start demanding it and telling them why I want it, well, they realize all is great. But one thing, I'm not connected to no political party, and I'm proud to say that on national television. I funded my program and I'm holding those accountable in office. You know why? I could do it. I could do it. You want to know when the citizens have the power? Only on election day to put a party. The UNC people still, watch me how long in front of the house have a pothole. And to the PNM people, how long in front of the house still have the same pothole. You see, if we go to think, well, this party better and that party better, and in 10 years PNM in power, 9 years and some months, and the pothole still in front of your house. But all like this. Yay! All like that. And every time you drive on the road, you're going down in the pothole. Ball joint, shocks, tire, rim bend. All are voting for party, all are voting for better community. Which one? Get it in all your skull. Get it in all your skull. Call a good night.
Yes, Saeed. Good night again.
Tell me.
Saeed, hear this, right? Let me tell you something. Stuart Young, the anytime people believe he talking about crime, talking about drug lords, talking about locking up people, let me tell you something. See when he stepped out of here and put bracelets on that girl for the amount of drugs that she was traveling with, then we go talk about crime side. Enjoy your night.
Thank you, my friend. I want Stuart to understand something. Let me tell you something, before I say that. Stuart Young is our minister. Right? He's also a businessman. He's also a family man. The only thing Saeed ain't doing is running in a political party to be like one of them. That's the only thing I ain't doing. But I tell myself, I say, you see me? I will never affiliate myself with a political party. I will hold members in a political party are accountable for the seat they're on that represents Trinidad and Tobago. And for the last 8 years on national television, I have been doing that with no attachment to nothing. No attachment. You see, I don't even ask for ad to run on my program because I might light up my own partner who connected to a minister. Yeah. You see me begging for ad? Or never hear Saeed come up on television and beg somebody, businessman or some company to come and run an ad? No. No. That is my moral and values right here. Because if your friend is responsible for the bridge air fixing in communities, what I must do? Zip my mouth and talk about something else? No, I will light him up. And then my own friend will stop talking to me. But that ain't nothing. That ain't nothing. At least the community get the bridge fixed. That's the most important thing. So Trinidad and Tobago, remember viewers, Real Talk Financing is the only financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit. The good thing about this is that you're getting your interest up front. We are the only financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago is doing that. Yes. And very soon, the same thing is going to be taking place in Guyana, Grenada, and Barbados. Interest up front. I in finance long time, you know. Long time. I always tell you that I in finance business long time. I know how to bring out strategies to make sure my company grow, to make sure human beings have a better way of life. Yeah. So I want to tell people, go to your bank, see where you're getting, and then come. Come. There's always room for negotiation. But you see the 5% interest up front, nobody is beating that. Nobody can go down the road. Nobody can go down that road besides Saeed. So here it is now. Opposition leader Kamala Prasad Bisesa has promised to immediately bring back her flagship laptop program post on the April 20th general election if she wins. Kamala.
So any children here wrote the SE exam? Put your hands up, stand up. Stand up, stand up. So I want to say to all SEA students, after the 28th of April, when you enter your new school, high school, big school, we shall give you your laptop. Yes.
She stand there bold, just like Stuart Young, and made statements. For the last Trinidad and Tobago citizens, for the last 20 years of your life, which party have stood firm and delivered better roads? Challenging supermarket to keep prices down. Challenging Tea and Tech, WASA, TSTT to make it affordable. Which government? I am not going to say which government, but I'm asking you tonight, ask yourself that. Some people might say, oh, I get work under PNM. Oh, I got a job under UNC. Let me tell you something, You have to work. I want to let you understand this. To work, you have to work. But when you get your work salary, which government fighting for you to stretch your dollar so you could get more from it? Which government making sure you can afford an internet bill? Which government making sure that you can buy a tire cheap? Which government sure that when you go in the grocery, you're paying the cheapest rate in the Caribbean for your groceries? Which government boosting the agriculture sector in Trinidad and Tobago that when you go to the market, you don't have to pay $40 for a pound of tomatoes? It's about what they could give you. It's how your life could be better. Why do you think I come here every day trying to educate you? Why do you think I'm doing that? Let me tell you something. When you select a party, and that party put an individual representing the community, right? That individual have to work for that community, you know. That individual had to work to the portfolio that was given to him, you know. Marvin Gonzalez, who was a former Minister of Public Utility, PNM administration, what he said, there may come a time that the fathers cannot carry out the children for pizza. Really? When Marvin said that a few weeks back, he got an increase in salary. While your fathers and mothers who work in the public sector have to beg for 4% increase. Beg for it. Open negotiation. Let the negotiation start. Let my salary increase so I can see about my children. What I get? What I get? Watch me. I talk now. What I get? You know what I get? Is it all I take 4% or all I go home? How much Marvin's salary went to buy? You should ask him. Ask him. Let me tell you something. You see this? You can't zip it, you know. The only way this mouth zipping is when I'm dead. That's the only time. So here it is. Education Minister Nian Gasby-Dolly has urged parents to take a more responsible role in addressing school bullying while the government continue to do their part. Listen to this.
The PNM government does not and will not condone bullying and violence in our schools in any form. And I'm saying that here tonight For those of you who have children who are being bullied, and for those of you who have children that are bullies and you are not making sure that they do what they have to do at home. I'm speaking to you, some of us as parents who are not doing what we have to do and expect the teachers to do all the training in the school. If you break it at home, don't expect the teachers to fix it.
Casby don't look nice behind the platform, eh? She look nice with her little hairstyle and little glasses and a little lipstick and even champagne and thing on the... Gasby Dolly, how long have you been Minister of Education? 9 years. Good. 9 years bullying taking place in school. What did you do? Come Gasby Dolly, open your mouth. Open your mouth. Oh well, my ministry did this, and my ministry did that, and my ministry did that. Your ministry did damn nothing. It's only when I come out and say, Gasby Dolly, if you have a child that going to a school and your child get bullied, what you go do? What you go do, Gasby Dolly? Tell me, man, I want to hear what you say. Get the damn child suspended from that school one time. And I parade on that for about a month or two. And boom shot, Ministry of Education. Any child caught bullying in school will be suspended. Yeah. We got that last year. Early part of last year. So what was going on for the last 8 years then? What was going on, Gasby Dolly, for the last 8 years? You didn't business. You didn't care. Imagine, teacher had to duck. Security had to run because it's chairs pelting, table pelting, all kind of thing Really? I was the Minister of Education and that was going on? If I didn't say suspend the students and them immediately, you'd have never come out with that. You'd have never come out with that. But you want to start to talk about bullying? Listen to this. Gasby Dolly said, in the last 2 years, they have been meeting with police, Ministry of Social Development, and Children Authority. Listen to this.
Sometimes we have to call the community police to deal with the issues. We have to be calling the parents sometimes. And sometimes parents who are supposed to come in, you can't get on to the parents. Number change. These are some of the challenges we face. And I will tell you this, that we have stuck to our no violence policy. And what has that led to? That has led to more children being removed from the school system at this time than ever in our system.
Last year we talked about that and got it passed. Only time he was doing nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's Real Talk and Saieed who pushed for that last year, early part of last year. And that's the one who promising this, promising that, promising the next, promising the other. How happened now? Nothing again. So when all you're talking, I just hold all are responsible for it. You know why? I am on national television. And I want the world to know that. I will fight for Trinidad and Tobago. This one person you see stand up here have gotten many things done. Many things done. And Trinidad and Tobago citizens have witnessed it. So viewers, on the 28th. Oh, before we go there, listen to this playback with Camille. Attorney General Camille Robertson-Reyes have stated that the money is outstanding to former private caroni cane farmers because they have not accepted the payment. Stinking lie! That is a lie! How much farmers begging for money? How much farmers begging for land? At the previous political meeting, United National Congress, political leader Pascal Bissessa promised to pay the sum of $110 million to farmers. Listen to this playback.
My government promised We promise. And we keep our promises, eh? We keep our promises. We promise former Caroni private cane farmers a payment of $140 million as their final payment to transition out of the industry. We got money.
5 seconds. You all remember when Keith Rowley now came into power, he said we got the money from the EU, but we use it to do something else. All remember that? Viewers, we have come to the end of our program, but nevertheless, we run tomorrow from 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. and we'll be right back here next night. We'll talk with Saeed as we go live again. Good night.